We're starting the day with a Greek classic, Tostaki. This sandwich is one of the most common breakfasts in Greece and it's usually made with cheese and ham, but as I didn't have either of these, I decided to make it with feta. I sliced some tomatoes and some feta and added them on top of my bread. I also added a bit of butter on top of the bread and let it grill for a few minutes. And you can't have a Greek breakfast without some freshly squeezed orange juice, so I grabbed a few oranges and made a glass of juice. I do prefer a tangy orange juice, so let's see. It's not like tangy, it's more sweet. Now for the toasty, let's have a bite. It's so good. This bread is amazing. I did not expect it to be this good. It's so good. I love feta. Let's eat and then let's make some moussaka. Moussaka is probably one of the most famous Greek dishes. Layers of potato and aubergine followed by a yummy mint sauce and topped with a creamy bechamel. Can you think of anything better? To start the dish, I first cut my aubergines in medium pieces, about this thick, and added them to a pan to roast. Aubergines need a lot of olive oil, so don't be afraid to use lots. Also seasoned with salt and pepper. Moussaka has a lot of different elements and it's important that you season each one to make sure the whole dish is flavorful. While my aubergines were roasting, I chopped a couple of onions to start on the mint sauce. I'm not very good at chopping finely, but this thing is amazing. Look at this, it just does it for you in 2 seconds. Don't have big clumps of onion, which definitely happens to me because I just can't chop finely. I added some olive oil to a pan, sauteed my onions, and then added some minced meat. I used beef, but you can use whatever you like. You can also use veggie mince if you're vegetarian. I let the mince cook through and added some salt and pepper, passata, and a bit of cinnamon. Lastly, I added a few bay leaves and let it simmer for a few hours while I was roasting the vegetables. Halfway through cooking the aubergines, I flipped them around to make sure they cook evenly. I then peeled a few potatoes and cut them in medium pieces. Once the aubergines were cooked, I transferred them to a plate and used the same pans to roast the potatoes. I added some olive oil, salt and pepper and roasted them for 30 to 40 minutes. You could also fry the aubergines and potatoes, but I prefer roasting them as I don't have to deal with frying and I find the moussaka is a bit lighter that way.
on to the bechamel. I melted some butter, added a few tablespoons of flour, and then poured about a liter of milk. I stirred frequently and waited until it thickens up. Once it had my desired consistency, I turned off the heat, added some salt and pepper, and a bit of freshly ground nutmeg. To assemble the dish, I layered all the potatoes for the bottom layer. I then topped with the aubergines.
Olive oil. Oh my god, it's so good.
I added the mint sauce on top of the aubergines and then topped it with the bechamel sauce. Then baked it for about 30 minutes or until the top is nice and golden.
These potatoes are so good. Definitely use loads of olive oil. So good.
Moussaka is such a great dish, and it might seem complicated, but it's actually really simple. It just involves a few elements, so don't be afraid to try making it. It's a perfect Sunday meal.
It's a very great time to have lunch. How it is. I haven't had moussaka in so long, so this is definitely hitting the spot. So good. Look at these layers.
For dinner, I decided to make homemade souvlaki. I cut a few chicken thighs in strips and sauteed them in a pan with some olive oil until they were cooked through. I seasoned with salt and pepper, and for spices I decided to keep it simple and use garlic and thyme. It's such a simple combo but works perfectly for gyros. While the chicken was cooking, I made some tzatziki. I grated half a cucumber and then peeled and pressed a garlic clove through a garlic press. I added a few tablespoons of Greek yogurt on my bowl, and then I squeezed my cucumber before adding it to the same bowl. I also added the garlic and gave it a good stir. I seasoned with salt, added a bit of olive oil and some red wine vinegar, and gave it another good stir. I also chopped some fresh tomatoes and onion to go in my souvlaki. To assemble my souvlaki, I started by adding some tzatziki in a pita. I then filled it with a few spoonfuls of the gyros mixture and topped it with tomatoes and onion. And for an authentic Greek souvlaki, you gotta add some paprika on top. This was such a delicious day, so if you enjoyed this video and would like to see more Greek recipes, give me a big thumbs up and I'll see you on the next one. Καλή όρεξη!